Obviously, was a little different start than what we had last week, and give them a lot of credit. I think they did a phenomenal job coming out. It wasn't anything from the way we prepared. I think we really respected who we were playing in all of our preparation. I just think that they came out, did a really good job to start the game offensively, just kind of monotonously moving the ball, and I think that's probably the thing that can frustrate us as much as anything. And then I think our offense had the ball one possession for 3 plays in the first half, and so give them an incredible amount of credit for the game plan, the scheme, what it is that they were going to do, and coming out and doing it. So for us, I think there's nothing greater than having to handle some adversity. And in week 1, we didn't really have to handle any adversity. Kind of came out and played the way we wanted to play. And the only way you grow up is to have adversity. And the greatest thing that could happen to us was come in here at halftime 7-7 and kind of see what we're made of. And came in here and, the leaders stepped up, and Desmond Ritter kind of, made sure everybody understood that what the expectations are like, and nobody's going to roll over. And we'll find out a lot about each other in the second half. And, they came out the second half, kind of took a couple deep breaths, calmed down, made a little adjustment here and there, and came out and played the way we should play.
First drive of that second half where Desmond had to convert on 3rd and 8, I believe it was, in the deep end. How important was that? How nice was it to see them take out the first 5 minutes like that?
It's always about momentum, and I think that's where we got it last week on the 81-yard pass on the second play, where we didn't get it this week, and starting off with a 14-play drive, and it just zapped the energy and the momentum, not out of us, but also out of the crowd, and give them a lot of credit. And to come out the second half to make that big play and kind of continue to move the football and to score was what we needed, and that's why you got to be able to feed off each other. Even special teams wise in the first half, not very sharp, and it's crazy how all of a sudden you get that energy back and get that momentum, and things are just look completely different. So we know we're going to have to rely on each other. You got to play all 3 phases of the game, and we had to do it tonight.
Obviously, it was an exciting week for this program. Were you concerned at all with well, you've talked a lot about focus the past 2 weeks. Was this a especially difficult week to focus with so many things going on?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't want to, put my head in the sand to not think our kids do understand what this means. I know for me to try to do a press conference on Friday or to do something, it's like, just kind of drives me nuts, but it's such an exciting time. It's such a big opportunity for not just our entire university, our athletic department, but also our city and fan base. But it is very hard when you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, and the ability to kind of stay focused and locked in and make sure that especially now with believing you're going to get everybody's best shot. So we'll be able to learn. It's a great growing experience to be challenged and have to face some real adversity. Because every year there's new leaders, and Desmond Ritter has been a leader for 3 years, but he's got different people that are around him, and how those guys all work and gel and mesh together in those times is really critical, and we got an opportunity to grow up today.
What was it about their game plan that allowed them to have some success in the first half?
I think that being methodical. I think huddle. I don't know if our guys have seen a huddle in a couple years, and I'm not saying that it's just those kinds of things that just kind of slow it down a bit. And again, if you go 3 and out, it doesn't matter. But you get a first down, you kind of, all of a sudden you're in 3rd down, you're going to go pressure them, and you kind of screw it up, and they get another first down. It's just those methodical things are something we got to grow with. In the past it's been big plays. When we gave up a big play, we were so competitive and so much anxiety to it. It usually coupled into something else right after it. I thought we've grown past that, this past year. Even a little bit last year, and now to be able to handle some of that methodical moving of the football like we saw even in the second half last week.
3 interceptions for the defense. Was it good to see those takeaways after not getting those in the first game?
Yeah, I mean those things. That's really the difference in the first half. I mean it's 7-7, but we get takeaways. And we talked about it last week. You said, hey, you stopped the streak of 20 games or whatever it was, and are you going to do something different? No, you're going to continue to emphasize, being aggressive to the football, running, and good things will happen. And not that we changed anything different. We just had an opportunity tonight. We made some of those plays, and really it's what kept us really in that thing in the first half.
Got a tough 2-game road stretch coming up. Was it important to maybe have some adversity today?
It's always important to have some adversity. You just don't really know who you are and what you got. until you've had it. And so you look at always trying to find the silver lining behind everything. You win, you come out of it, obviously till 2-0. You had some adversity, you come in the second half and play well. So there's a lot of things for us to grow from. I'm glad we faced it, and I'm glad we stepped up to the challenge for the second half.
What was the vibe like at halftime? You mentioned Des stand up and talk. Was it pretty heated?
It was a little bit. He got a little bit emotional, but I think that the maturity is a big step too, and because we've got a lot of different types of leaders amongst this group, and I don't know that I've heard Des be kind of as aggressive as he was, and you're always kind of curious as to how everybody will respond to things like that. Not that they don't have the utmost respect for Des, but it's the same thing when a coach does. You just kind of, as a leader, you got to kind of get a great feel for the room and know what it is that you're doing and who you're challenging. And I think it really was big for us tonight.
What was your vibe?
I didn't have to do a whole lot. You kind of sensed, the maturity. You kind of sense what Des, how he, was aggressive with things, and you kind of felt like, okay, this is, if I needed to do it, that would be me. If it doesn't need to be, it won't be me. And the challenge for me was, I told you at the beginning of the game, you'd find out a lot more about the people around you as we finish this ball game, and you're going to find out a lot more than what we even thought by the way everybody goes out the second half.
Ohio State lost at home today, and now that means you guys have the third longest, I believe, home winning streak in the country. What is it at 22 games? What does that mean to you, the significance of that?
It means 22 games. We've done a really, really good job at home. We're not home for a couple more weeks, so that won't be a big deal. But I can tell you this, that home crowd, that student section, last week and this week, the energy there is a really big thing for us. We'll miss it the next couple weeks, but we know they'll be there in spirit.
The dynamic that Tyler gives you from that field receiver spot, how does that impact the offense overall?
Well, I was thinking about moving him to corner. I kept saying that, and then he caught that one again, and they were all hooting and hollering. And I said, man, I think he might be a heck of a corner for us if we could, find some opportunities to move him over there. But I'm not sure that they're going to allow that, and I might have the last vote, but he's doing a pretty good job right now, so we're going to keep giving him those opportunities out there.
You always want to move offense guys to defense.
We moved Huber from offense to defense.
That's what I'm saying. I always want to take guys on offense.
Yeah, they can't play over there, so they got to move over to defense, and they got to get coached up a little different, No, he's doing a really good job. I mean, he is growing up, and the competitiveness in that room, and I said it before, Mike Young has meant a whole lot to that room, but just those guys in general together, that healthy competition that those guys have, and between Tyler and just everybody in there has really, that dynamic has changed in the last year and a half more than any other spot in this team.
How about the two catches from Mike Young? It seemed like he got the stadium kind of back into it.
He did, and during camp he was really, really hot. I mean, he was giving our defenses fits, and him and Dez's connection. And week one, I don't think that they had as many opportunities, and for him to get the shots he got today and to go up and make the plays, it reminded me of the end of the year last year in that Georgia game when he needed something, knew who to go to, and he made a couple really, really, really good catches in a time when it was still, it was a ball game, and that's a great sign for us.
What does it mean, real quick, to have Jerome finish off 3 drives? Touchdowns?
It means that we don't get him the ball enough. I think that there's some good problems to have when you've got you spread the ball around as much as you have and can. Sometimes you forget about the horse that you got right back there and the easiest thing to do, and kind of the culture of the program. And I think that he's done a great job. We're going to continue to need him, and hopefully we can get him rolling a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I feel like it was on all of us to try to get a start going. Not just me, Dez, the O-line. I really feel like like Coach Fick said, we're an O-line driven program. So at halftime, we get them boys fired up.
The first half, or really, first 2 drives, 3 and outs. Did it feel like you just were on the sideline that entire first half as an offense?
Yeah, it was like a long first half. We had the defense out there a long time. That's not good, but
What would you accredit that slow start to? Was it anything to do with what happened yesterday, or was it just their preparation?
Honestly, I just feel like we came out slow. It was us. start up front. And, when those guys start a little bit slow, and we don't make enough plays to get a groove going. We don't get Dez going. That kind of mess up the flow of the game.
The last 3 games going back to Peach Bowl, even starting running back, how has that transition been from kind of being the guy that came in the spell dogs to now you're the lead feature back?
Honestly, it's pretty fun. It's kind of nerve-wracking to have to go in there and be the one to come to the sideline and tell coach what you saw, tell the other running backs what you saw. Usually it's GD going in, and I'm like, yo, what it look like out there? And now you don't get that look. It's just you got to go out there and figure it out yourself.
Coach Dez was a little animated at halftime. Was it good to see him kind of step up and speak?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Definitely good to see. It kind of fired us all up. Hearing Dez pop off, me and the O-line, got us going.
When he pops off like that, and then you guys come out with a solid 5-minute drive, 10 plays, 75 yards, whatever it was, how significant is that? How nice is that to see?
It's great, just showing how much power Dez has. When he speaks, everybody listens. Great leader.
How much of knowing that you were getting the opening kickoff of the second half, how much importance was on that first drive of the second half, and was that a part of what Dez was kind of preaching? We need to go out, get out, and start fast.
Yeah, he was like, we get the ball right now. Let's just make it happen. Let's go down, score. The defense been holding it down pretty much for the first half, so let's go out there and play complimentary football.
You're always pretty chill with us. That first touchdown, you showed some fire. Are you just one of those guys that flips it on the field?
It just really depends on the run. If I feel like it was something simple, I probably won't celebrate too much. If it's like a walk-in touchdown, I'm probably not going to celebrate.
Luke said your performance today means that we should be giving him the ball more. Do you think today will maybe lead to more carries and more production from you?
I think so. Yeah.
What have you seen out of Tyler Scott and moved outside this year, just kind of the impact he's had on the first 2 games?
To be honest, Mike Young, he told me before the season even started that Tyler Young probably going to be 1,000-yard receiving this year. So it's like every time we see him go off, we look at each other like, told you so.
What happened on the fumble? Just helmet to the ball? The fumble happened?
I didn't have it secured going through the hole, and I tried to get physical, didn't have the ball always secured.
I wouldn't say anything like too extravagant. I'd just say like, all right, shooting stuff in our foot, because each and every day we come out here, we try to get better and look at ourselves in the mirror and figure out things we need to work on as a defense. To things like that, we don't really look at too many of like, okay, what are they doing different? Because like it wasn't nothing too extravagant. It was just us shooting ourselves in the foot, doing our right jobs and just doing it at a high level.
Was it a lack of focus thing, or was it just they schemed it well?
I wouldn't say either of those two. I would just say, like I said before, we just need to do our jobs at the end of the day and like execute those. And then obviously you see things on the field. Kind of they do a couple of plays in there. It's like, all right, we didn't see this before, but us being play at a high level, you have to be able to adjust on the run, especially when different things we do in motions and so forth, and different packages and so forth. So I'll probably just say that. I wouldn't say anything too extravagant.
We've grown accustomed to seeing this defense get takeaway after takeaway. That didn't happen last week. It did tonight with the 3 interceptions. Was it just good to see that again? Did you guys feel like you were in a different groove tonight after that?
I would say that for us, just getting that type of swag back in the defensive room, and then obviously the DB room, because we came up with 3 picks, I believe, today, which is good. Great way to start off, especially going into like the weeks and then obviously conference play. So I think the first week was like, okay, cool, we figuring out each and every territory, because like I said, we had different spots we filled in with people who left, obviously. And now we in a situation like, okay, cool, like we meshing really good together. And figuring out like how to get that real swag in the defensive room as well as the DB room.
You guys didn't really get tested last week because the offense went off kind of early. Was it good to maybe get pushed a little bit going into Indiana and Notre Dame?
I would say yes. because now we can see things we need to work on. Like I said before, to me, I didn't see anything too like, all right, guys, this is a problem. It was just us like doing small things, doing like our jobs, and just don't leave any crumbs, honestly. So it was pretty good. It was nice to see.
You guys are a pretty emotional, aggressive defense. When they're huddling up and running the play clock down every play, that has to be frustrating on your guys' end.
Well, you just know, like, at the end of the day, defense is all about anticipating and also reacting. So if we're not set and stuff like that, it is definitely hard to do so. That's why teams like UCF is so good for so many years. But, Coach Stress is doing a good job. So is Coach Fickell doing a good job of having us, like, let's say playing under pressure because, like, we didn't get challenged as much compared to last year or even during, like, we just trying to make sure we have everything settled. But having that pressure of, like, okay, cool, lining up real fast and get everything's situated in a short amount of time, that's a pinpoint for coaches this year for sure. And then also, like, knowing what the offense is doing prior to what we even have our call set. Because in the day, like, the call doesn't matter. It's like, are we going to execute the call based on what they're doing?
That first half could have been a lot worse if it weren't for the 3 interceptions. So are you guys at halftime thinking, our interceptions really saved us in terms of the time of possession and how long you guys were on the field?
You say yes in a nutshell. And on the other side, you're gonna say, like, just like I said before, bring that swag back to the defense. Like, okay, like, we know we're pretty good. Like, they actually play like it. I think that was, like, just changing mentality wise. The players are gonna come to those who are actually playing. You know what I'm saying? You out there, like, the players are gonna come to you. It just matter of, okay, cool, focusing on it and then doing your job. Like I said, you want to do too much. Do your job and everything work out itself.
You're one of the leaders of this team. Was it good to see guys stand up at halftime and kind of challenge guys?
Definitely, because like I said before, it's nice to have leaders who, like, understand both sides of the ball. Because, like, he could have got up and we could have been like, all right, guys, this and so for defense step it up. He also got on his own guys, this offense as well, because we all as a team. So hearing that is definitely will. But I know, like you said, I'm a leader, but I'm kind of like more like do things right and, like, don't really talk as much until I really need to. So hearing Dez talk and then obviously Majay, people like that stepping up and Kobe stepping up, just, getting things handled. Even the guys who, like, on the sidelines, like, they all step up. So, like, you can say, oh, I'm a leader, but we have a team full of leaders, not just me. People even, like, don't even play, even the freshmen becoming, like, small little leaders. So I think that's great for our team.